George Herbert Mead was a sociologist said to be a modest man by the philosopher John Dewey. Mead is best known for his reform activities, his social psychology course, and his articles on social and educational questions of the day. Mead was born in South Hadley, Massachusetts in February of 1863. Him and his family lived comfortably there. He had an older sister, Alice. His mother, Elizabeth Storrs Billings, was well-cultured and from a prominent New England family. Hiram Mead, his father, was a congregational minister. 7 years later, the Mead family moved to Oberlin, Ohio. This is where his father accepted his new job as a chair in homiletics at the Theological Seminary. Mead was a normal Midwestern American, which included his family, background, job, values, standard of living, and schooling. He mostly learned the classics at school, which included literature, moral philosophy, math, and science.
Oh, hello everybody! Today we're expecting George Herbert Mead for an interview. Oh, here he comes right now!
Oh, hello there.
Oh, hello!
Hello
Thank
there.
you so much for coming today for this interview. Please, please have a seat.
Thank you for
have a
having
seat.
me.
Thanks so much for agreeing to share a little about your life with us today. Can I call you Herb?
My pleasure. It would be my afternoon delight to have you call me Herb.
So, can you tell us what you majored in while you were attending Harvard?
I was taking philosophy and psychology. I've always been interested in these subjects.
Excellent! Wow, taking two majors at the prestigious Harvard University must have been stressful. Were you able to find any time in between your studies to make a little bit of pocket change?
Let me tell you, it was difficult, but I was able to handle the workload. As for pocket change, I was able to hold down a part-time job.
Oh, good for you, good for you. Did you have any particular professors you looked up to at Harvard?
My favorite professor was Josiah Royce.
Oh, Royce like the car?
Yes, sirree.
Anyways, what made Professor Royce so special?
We shared a love for Hegel's work. Hegel became the inspiration to most of my writings, and without Royce, I don't think I would have found some of my biggest passions.
Interesting. Now, I was told by my producer that you impressed a certain William James, the same philosopher we've all heard about. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, I don't like to brag.
No, please, go ahead.
Well, James offered me a job tutoring his children, which I absolutely loved doing.
Well, that's great. What else did you do in your spare time then?
Well, I always enjoy sipping delicious beverages while reading and studying the works of Kant, Hegel, and Schopenhauer.
Moving along to more personal matters, if that's okay. Great. So you were able to hold down two majors and a job during your academic career. Were you able to hold down a relationship at all?
Well, I dated and married a lovely lady. Her name was Helen. And that's about it.
Well, on that note, that's about it for me too. Thanks again so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to grace us with your presence today.
At this time, he married the widowed Helen Castle and returned to the U.S. after his studies were complete. There, he became a philosophy instructor at the University of Michigan. Mead found and fostered friendship there with the philosopher John Dewey. Dewey was an example to Mead in the area of instructing and working for social and educational reforms. Mead had also befriended the sociologist Charles H. Cooley, who possessed the belief Dewey invited Mead to come to Chicago for the Department of Philosophy because Dewey was head. And later, Mead became head, where he stayed in Chicago. Mead had a lot of influence when he instructed the social psychology course. For the rest of his life, he did a lot of teaching. His main course was about the mind, self, socialization, and society. Some people even recorded his lectures because they thought it was so great. This recording resulted in the book, Mind, Self, and Society.